Well, obviously, there's the 4 theme parks: Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Disney's Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom. They got the 2 water parks, Disney Springs, and on that property also happens to be my house.
So, fellas, welcome to another show of Thanalysis podcast. And I have an interesting guest. We're going to do this our way. So, coming to the stage from Los Angeles, California, Brook the Splash Mountain Lopez.
God dang, TA, that was an incredible introduction right there.
I've been working on it 2 days
That's
now.
impressive, man. It was perfect.
Thank you for being on the show. It's something that we wanted to do, and just to hear people's stories, and I wanted to bring interesting people out here and amazing people. So I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
So okay, how I start. Me and you just met. Who is Brook Lopez? What's your? You play basketball, obviously.
Right.
You're all-time legend. But who is Brook Lopez outside of basketball?
Outside of basketball, that's tough because basketball is such a big part of me. But I think family person, obviously, and so it has to probably go back to my mom. I mean, pretty much everything I do goes back to my mom in one way or another. She's the reason for everything. And growing up, she was very open to us just trying everything. If we were interested in something, she'd let us try it out. She didn't really have us shoehorned into, you're tall, your older brothers played basketball, just play basketball. We did a lot of sports. I played water polo, volleyball, ran track, cross country, did all sorts of creative stuff, writing, drawing, played in the band, was in choir. I can't even sing, I was in choir. I tried everything to find what I liked. So I'm just, to get to answering your question, I think I'm just a creative person. I like to create, try new things, and try these things, with people, experience them with people.
That's good. It's crazy that you say this, but you have to be one of the most creative people I've ever met. I mean, you and your brother.
Yeah.
But you especially very creative and just, not just educated. I want to say intelligence because there's a difference, between being educated and intelligent at the same time. But, and I've learned so many things just being around you in the locker room and just, in the off season and whenever, we go towards your place, in Orlando and we, hang out around your people. I've seen things that, I've grown interest. I was never so big on Disney. I love Disney, but after I've been here in the team for 4 or 5 years now, I love it even more. There's more to it.
Well, there's so much to it. I grew up going there. Again, my mom took us there when we were kids, and I love it. So I've always enjoyed whichever team I'm on. Taking the team, having the guys come with us, and going to the parks and helping them see it through my eyes, I guess, and experience it my way. Because I think I still see it like a kid. It's still magical to me, and I love taking my teammates. So going with you guys, hitting up the parks, and seeing the guys experience it, especially rooks who are first in the league or young guys going with Jordan or Sandor or something like that, and just how excited and giddy and how there they are for it. They're all about it, and I love experiencing that.
Oh my God! Now that you said rooks. First year in the NBA, how was it for you? As a rookie,
it was different. Honestly, I'm sure you had a culture shock coming over, from Greece to America, and then being in the NBA too. It wasn't that much for me. But coming from California and then where I grew up my whole life, and then going to New Jersey, the New York area, I'd only been there first time for the draft. So that was my first time. And then just experiencing that as a 20-year-old, I was it felt like a completely different country. It felt like I was in China or something like that. It was so different than California. And so the culture is very different. I remember one of my first practices, our assistant coach, TB, Tom Barese, I made some mistake, and he tried to help me, he was coaching me, he corrected me. And I felt like he came at me in this, loud way. He was shouting at me. And you got to know TB. Like, TB's kind of like, he's a pretty typical, like, Sopranos looking kind of Jersey accent guy, everything that. And so I feel like he's coming and yell at me. So I get mad and yell back. He's like, Brook, like, what's wrong? I'm just trying to coach and help you, And I was like, okay, I thought you were getting mad, but it was just his way. And so I wasn't used to all the, the way Jersey, the East Coast, New York was and everything like that. But it was a great experience. It definitely helped me expand my worldview. And, I loved being with the Nets, being out there. And I enjoyed my rookie season because I played with guys like Vince Carter, Devin Harris,
nice.
Skip to my Lou, Ray also, like just so many legends. It was awesome.
Now that you said East, West, do you think you growing up in California, do you think like kind of people from LA are kind of more nonchalant, let's say, and people from like the East Coast are kind of like more, not greedy, but more like...
it is a stereotype, but I believe it. I believe it. Okay. Yeah, I do believe it, honestly. Like I see it I do see that. I definitely feel like Cali people are more chilled, more laid back. Like I'm definitely just kind of go with the flow, whatever. Okay. I don't like hearing, when like it gets a little too far and, they think, we lack that toughness, that toughness that you need to play and hoop and stuff like that. But I'm definitely laid back.
No, I mean, I know a lot of guys who from LA and they play basketball. They're tough. They're tough. There is no question.
Yeah.
But okay, so what? Another question that everybody's asking too. Why do you wear number 11?
11. I wear number 11 because growing up, we always watched our brothers play. Our two older brothers, Alex and Chris. They're 7 and 12 years older than us. So there's a bit of a gap between all of us, and so we always watched them play. Middle school, high school, college games. And our oldest brother, Alex, he would play on his high school traveling team, Team Avia in LA. And his number was 42. So Robin always wanted to wear 42. And, Chris wasn't on that team, our brother Chris. Otherwise, I would have picked his number. But there was a point guard named Art Lee, and he was number 11. And so Alex and Art played very well together. They had a good relationship and everything like that. And I loved watching Art play. And so I decided to pick his number, because they worked together on court very well. 11 and 42 was a great combination. So we both picked those two numbers. And, Art, he ended up actually going to Stanford, played for the Cardinal, helped take him to the Final Four, when I was growing up as a kid. So he was a player I ended up idolizing a lot, one of my favorite players all time to watch. And so he's the reason I wear number 11.
Oh man, that's nice. I mean, you just wanted to keep the good synergy in your life.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. That brother relationship. Yeah. We look up to our brother. We wanted to be like that. We wanted to have that good connection on court. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you? Okay. So now that you said 11:42, shout out to Brook Lopez. How does it feel? Like, I mean, you've had this feeling too, like you and your brother in the same team.
Yes.
Do you? Was it ever? Was it competitive? Like we're competitive too.
It was, and it was actually funny because the first practice, I remember the first practice. It must have been one of those like ones in Madison at University of Wisconsin or something like that. The first practice that we had with Robin, and I obviously had been practiced against him since we were probably at Stanford, or maybe working out for the draft or something like that. Like in a real practice. I really feel like the coaches just let it go, like in the scrimmage and in the 5-on-5 drills, 1-on-1 drills, whatever. And they let each other beat us up a ton. Like they just let us go at it, rough each other up. And we get competitive, like you said, as brothers. Like we get competitive, get at each other, talk trash, everything like that. And I think the coach is like, I don't know if they were intentionally letting us scrap a little bit, or if they were just like enjoying the show.
I'll tell you what it is.
Yeah,
I've seen that in sometimes. I've played with my brothers in the national team with Giannis. I've played, with the Bucks and everything. It's entertaining. They're like, okay, they go at each other. You know, like you have certain tendencies that people won't even understand. That,
right.
That
absolutely.
We know.
Yeah. And you'll do like brother stuff like on the NBA court that's so funny that doesn't belong there. Like you'll be messing with your brother, like, man, get out of here, man. And like I think the coaches like kind of get like caught up in watching that sometimes. And so they let the fouls go, let that go and stuff like that. And so it's fun, you know, it was great. It can be like grating when you're going at each other in that moment, but you know, it's fun. There's nothing like, there's nothing like that, man. There's nothing like that.
It's a blessing, and it's a blessing to even like, you know, be in the same league or share the same court.
Right.
You know, like with your brothers, because you know, the NBA is the best league in the world. So I can't.
Yeah.
It's like it's like going to your job and being on the biggest stage that you can be.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a blessing. What would you say, right, if they told you that you had to coach your brother, right? No. You were a coach, you had to coach him, right? And let's say you don't start him, or you don't like, he doesn't start, he comes off the bench, so he has you give him like, you know, a little bit of in and out of the rotation. What do you think Robin says?
Oh man. You know what? I don't know if he goes directly to me. I think he might like text one of my boys, hit up one of my boys, vent that way first or something like that, or go to our brothers or something like that. But it's gonna come around and get back to me. It's gonna come around. I'm gonna find out. You know, I'm gonna have our boys, you know, spying on him, figuring that stuff out too, seeing how he really feels. But I'm gonna do what's best for our team. You know,
exactly.
I gotta do what's best for our team, right?
Yeah, it's you gotta do what's best for the team, and at the same time, you gotta. It's all about the team. It's not personal.
Right, exactly. Yeah, yeah. You know, you see him like lying on the sideline, like how he lies down on the corner of the court on his back for his back, everything like that. Like I've seen him do that. He's good there. You know, he helps the team there, so he can do that for us. That's all right. You let the refs do his thing.
Oh my God, he's incredible player. I've watched him. And, you know, great guy. And you know, for you to be over 10 years in this league, for you guys to be over 10 years in this league, plus, like it's. You have to be a great person. You cannot be in this league.
Right. No.
After this for like 8 to 10 to 14 years in this league and not be a great person.
Yeah.
This is how it works.
It.
You can't make it. It's almost impossible.
It is.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go to your nickname. Why is it Splash Mountain?
Oh man, I love that nickname.
I mean, I know you splash threes and you like you're splashing and but
you know, it worked out that way. So Splash Mountain been my favorite attraction. You know, it was my favorite attraction, right? My favorite ride. You know, and my first year I got here, you know, John Henson Hook was here, and you know, that was when we really like our offense changed. Coach Bud's first year, you know, Pat's first year with the Bucks. And we were doing that 5-out, let it fly stuff. Like we were just gunning, you know, hoisting threes up, getting them up left and right. By
the way, Robin was doing the same thing when he was with the Bucks.
He was shooting that thing with his tee, that tee part, and John Henson Hook, he said like he saw it on Twitter or something like that and found it, and so it's because of him. Like he brought it to me the next day and started that.
Oh my God.
And started the Splash Mountain thing. And so like, I'm eternally grateful to him for that, because that's like the perfect nickname for me.
Oh my! Yeah. If you're John, if you're listening to this or watching this, man, just want to say thank you.
Yes, thank you.
It's a great nickname. Yeah. One of the best in the league. So is your favorite ride in Disney? Disney.
Yeah.
Disney. Okay, so rumors have it that you literally live in Disney.
Yes.
In a theme park.
Yeah. It's technically it's on property. Yes, on property at Walt Disney World.
What is that? What is you? What's the word? I want to say elaborate. Like would you really?
Yes.
Literally live.
Yeah. Yes. So obviously there's the 4 theme parks. You got the you know, Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Disney's Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom. They got the, you know, the 2 water parks, Disney Springs, and all that property. The whole property is twice the size of Manhattan, right? And so it's big space, And on that property also happens to be my house with all that stuff.
Was this like a years in the making plan? Like when you was 8 years old, you're like, I'm gonna buy a house in Disney. and I'm gonna like go on every ride every day.
That's like a little kid's dream, right? Like Robin and I would legitimately like pick like what spot in the park would you live in? If you could live in the park, where would you live? Like what would your choice be? And so we have all these things. And then I think it was like it must have been like my second or third year in the league, something like that. My older brother Chris sent me a Yahoo article, just a Yahoo link. And like the title was just like, you can now buy homes like in Disney World or something like that.
Wow.
And so I looked at the link, read the article real quick, clicked on the actual link to like the Disney Golden Oak community site. And it honestly must have been like the fastest process of like getting to purchasing the house / lot, getting the property that ever happened. Like it was all so fast. I'm glad my financial guy, Rit, was cool with it and everything like that. He was actually really supportive. They had the 3-dimensional walkthroughs of the prop houses or whatever online. So Haley and I actually happened to be together when Chris sent that. We were together at the same time in a hotel, and we were looking at the 3D models of the house, and then we text Rit and we're like, Rit, you see this link? And like we were like so nervous waiting for that text back. He's like, Brooke, are you crazy? Like this is gonna be so expensive. You can't do this. Is irresponsible. But no, he was super excited about it. And so from there, we like immediately set up a date to go down and tour one of the actual houses physically. And it happened to be like, I think this happened during All-Star break that year. And the next Orlando game, we set it up. So we went down to Disney the day before the Orlando game, toured the house. And right after we toured like that first house, like we were like, okay, we're doing this. This is done. And so we picked a lot. It was lot 70 in Carrollwood Reserve. I still remember the number. We're like, this is it. This is the one we're picking. We're going forward. I'm moving here. Like, and this is just like, I'm a Cali kid my whole life. I've never had a property to myself.
Yes.
I've rented my place in Jersey and everything like that, but I've never owned a home, never lived outside of California other than where I play, like, I was like, well, I'm buying my house here.
Was it ready or you started decorating it?
No,
because I've heard that it has like secret passages.
Yes. So they had some pre-built homes, but we built just the lot so we bought the lot so we could build from ground up, our dream
So everything
home.
that was there, you built it?
Yes. Yeah. So we bought the property. It must have been either 2011 or 2012 or something like that. I think it was when they started the Golden Oak stuff, when it opened. And from there, the design process took like 5 years or something like that. Like we met with builders trying to tell them like what we wanted to do. We told them like all right, we're from California, from Disneyland. We want to bring a little bit of Disneyland to Disney World. So we wanted to have different rooms themed after the different lands in Disneyland, Adventureland, Tomorrowland, New Orleans Square, Fantasyland, just all that stuff. And so we found the builder that was right for us. And then we started like going so in depth with what we wanted to do. And so the design process again was much longer than it normally would be.
Yeah, of course.
Or else like that. But we wanted to get it just right, exactly. And like you mentioned, we wanted to get the secret passages in there, all the cool little tricks and stuff like that you can find when you're exploring the house. We had to get it just right.
Oh man, it's incredible. I've had the privilege to be there, so I'm excited. I can't actually describe it. It would be unjust to just describe it, to say it. But okay, so you do all these things, right? And like my dream example, when I was younger, this is not a dream, obviously. It's like a crazy, and my brothers can tell you this. So I used to, we couldn't afford to have soda. You know how you have Coke, we used to have all the off brands in Greece.
Yeah.
You know how you have cola, just the off brands.
Right, the off brand, yeah.
And I remember with the was like, man, we were 6-7 years old. We would become professional soccer players because we wanted to play basketball. It's like, I'm going in my house. I was like, I'm gonna have this. I'm gonna have a whole fridge with sodas and everything. And we were like, okay. And I'm gonna have it like when I open the tap instead of water to have
It's
like
gonna have the soda. Yeah.
to have soda. So it was like it was insane. But then growing up, I understood like, oh my god, no, I don't want that. That's not for me. You know?
Right.
But it's. I don't think people get to understand how much like the process of growing up. You set the literally a base.
Yeah.
When you're an adult.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And again, what happens is like, if you're successful and you can achieve everything you want to, and you can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
That's what happens. So you literally.
It is. It's crazy. Like I've been very lucky. I've had a lot of people like to help me through my journey and everything like that. And again, like I always come back to my mom, but like everything I did is because of her and for her. Like I went to Stanford because she went to Stanford, right? That's why I wanted to go to Stanford. And I remember being a very young kid. My mom tells a story all the time. Like I was in second grade, and I remember she was picking me up from school one day in Robin too. And when I got in the car, I told her like, "Mom, before I play in the NBA, I want to go to Stanford." So like when I was in second grade, like I knew what I wanted to do. Like I knew I wanted to go to Stanford, play basketball, like, you know, and there's other stuff too. But, you know, I had it up here.
Oh, man. So now that we get to basketball even more, Brooklyn Nets, all-time leading scorer. They have some good players right now in Brooklyn, but you're the all-time leading scorer. Yeah. Do you see anybody getting the record? Do you see anybody catching up?
Man.
First of all, how many points do you have?
It's
not with Brooklyn in general.
General, I'm not sure.
Just if you could guess, we'll look it up after.
Yeah.
If you could guess.
So Brooklyn, it was like 10,400 something.
You had 10,000 just for Brooklyn.
Yeah.
How many seasons you played?
9
seasons.
Yeah, 9 seasons.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so then I've had the year in LA, and this is my 5th year with Milwaukee. 6 more years. I don't know. Like I'd say 14,000.
40,000 points. That's a lot of points, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody people watch this and listening. It's a lot of points, man.
It's crazy. It's wild, man.
It's a lot of points. Okay, so do you see anybody like breaking the record in Brooklyn?
Records made to be broken. That's what they say, right? So I think eventually, but I mean, Kyrie and KD, they can put
they
can put that ball in the bucket, man.
Yeah, they're special.
They are.
They're special.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, but okay, let's go. Let's move on. Let's move on a little bit to, you know, I'm a big movie guy. You know, I'm an executive producer and stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go off, you know, what I know. I want you to tell me.
Yeah.
Favorite movies.
Mm-hmm. Favorite movies?
Yes. Top 3.
All right. Favorite movies, top 3.
Do not say Return of the Jedi. You cannot say that.
Okay, I was going to say that. I was going to say that right away first.
I knew you were going to say that. So,
don't say Return of the Jedi. Other 3 movies. Okay. All right. I'm going to say Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Okay.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones. 2 more. Let's see. Then I'll probably go with E.T. probably. You know E.T.?
Yes, I've watched it.
Oh my God.
I think I've watched it. It hadn't been like years.
Yeah.
I watched it, but I watched
that movie. If there's a movie that makes me like cry, like bawl, it's E.T.
Really?
Yeah. That ending, oh my gosh, it gets me.
You know, I've cried once, but that was like in our movie.
And you're okay, of course, right? Yeah, it makes sense.
It was like just me watching. It was, you know, for other people it's kind of entertainment.
Right.
For me, it was like
it
was my life. So it was a flashback
like
in my life.
Watching that on the screen,
I was crying, but I've never cried in a movie.
Yeah. E.T. gets me. It does, man. That ending when Elliot and
what happens in the ending?
Yeah. So obviously, Elliot, the little boy, meets the alien E.T. and they become really close, you know, over their adventures on Earth, right? And at the end of the movie, E.T. has to go home. You know, he can't live on Earth. He has to go home, be back with his people. And just him saying goodbye to like Elliot and his brother and sister and their friends and everything like that, it gets me, man. I don't know what I can say, man. It gets me.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, I know what you mean. I get that.
It gets me. It has since I was a kid. I was like, why can't they just be friends and you know, keep hanging out?
And just hang out a little bit more.
Right, yeah.
I got you. So that's 2, right?
That's
so
2, yeah.
And
then I'm going to say this is like my vote for like best movie ever. And I think every movie like after it is like, if you lost every other movie in the world that was ever made,
okay,
like I think you could rebuild movie history. I guess I'm essentially saying,
okay,
like you could rebuild all these movies from this one movie.
Which one is it?
The Wizard of Oz, I think.
Oh.
Yes, yeah, The Wizard of Oz.
Why?
I mean, you look at it and it's from 1939. It still holds up today. It's funny, heartfelt, scary. I was terrified of the Wicked Witch from that movie when I was a kid. It messed me up for life. Like that. Like I'm terrified of witches now because of that movie. But it's scary. It's got incredible music. It's so well crafted. Like the set
so
design.
You were scared. So what was the feel like when you watched it for the first time? Can you remember? Like,
yes, I remember watching it as a kid. I don't know if I remember the first time, but like I remember watching it as a kid and hearing like the dun 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 dun, like the music when the witch shows up and like freaking the heck out. Like, oh my God. I would lose my mind. And my brother, like my older brother Chris, he
used
would
to scare you too.
Yes, man, yes. He would like I can remember like being in our crib like a little kid. So you know, if I'm remembering something in my crib, this is like a traumatizing memory. I remember standing in my crib, like, you know, standing up, holding the rail or whatever. He'd come up and be like, do the music and like do the witches laugh, like and everything like that.
God.
Like I was traumatized. I'm telling you, traumatized. But that movie stuck with me, so I'm terrified of it a little bit because it creeps me out a little bit because of the witch and stuff. But I also love it, and I do think it's the best movie ever made.
Oh wow, that's good. I like your perspective. I like the way what you said. It makes a case. It makes a case. Okay, so we get to the chapter that I always do this in the show. Now you got to pick one. I'll ask you some questions, and you got to pick one.
Okay.
So, Batman or Superman?
Batman.
Why?
And so I did pick that quick
too.
I did say that quick, and I love Superman. I think Superman's underrated. I'm disappointed that they haven't gotten him right in the movies for so long. Like he's such an amazing character, and has lots of great stories that have been told and can be told.
You're talking about Superman, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about Superman. But
you saw what happened with the actor who was playing?
I did. You know what? And
that was weird.
I'm disappointed. I do think DC needed a reset, but I think they could have figured it out and kept him on board and just started fresh with him. Because I think directed right, and with the proper story and everything, I think he could be a great Superman.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah,
but,
it is.
It's just show business.
Yeah, it is. And so I hope DC gets it right because the DC films haven't done it for me. I'm a DC guy. Compared to Marvel, I'm more a DC guy. But yeah, Batman is absolutely like he's just the ultimate superhero, man. Come on, he's the coolest.
So what are the traits that you like about Batman?
Man, it'd have to be for me like that he's just a human.
Okay.
But he's standing up there, you know, with all those other like essentially they're gods, right? You know, Superman, Wonder Woman, like, you know, the Flash, Green Lantern, all these guys, and then he's just a man. You know, he's just a human guy, but he's brought himself to his physical peak, you know, his mental peak. You know, and the wealth obviously did help. You know, his family being wealthy, but he worked. You know, he worked to make himself the strongest, the toughest, the smartest he could possibly be.
Do you think he is? Now what I'm gonna say, I don't know. Please. Marvel fans and DC fans, do not go on my comments and go crazy. Do you think he's the alter ego of Tony Stark-ish?
I think it has become that way.
Yeah. No? Or is it just me?
No,
Okay.
with the movie universe, I do think it has become like that. And this is probably going off like some Marvel versus DC like 90s amalgam stuff and stuff like that. I probably would have it's tough. It's tough because then you're like, well, who's Superman's counterpart? But like I tend to think more like, I guess I usually go, it's tough because I go like some sort of Batman and Captain America, honestly.
Okay.
Even though it's not like exactly.
So do you go Tony Stark versus Superman?
No. I'd probably put him like, honestly, and this isn't exactly like, I guess they're more alike, you know, rich billionaire playboys and everything like that. Like they're alike in that
story.
But I tend to focus more on the actual, I guess, powers and everything like that.
Gotcha.
And so I've typically put him, you know, with Green Lantern. And again, that's like a kind of a Marvel DC amalgam thing.
I can see it.
And then obviously he works great with, you know, countering steel as well. You know, John Henry Irons, Shaq. Superman is Shaq.
Son of the Shaq, man. Okay, let's go to the second one. Would you rather be eaten by a shark or a tiger?
Oh no.
You got to pick one.
So it's definitely going to eat me.
Yeah.
I have no chance of getting out of this. So like I'm probably going to pick a shark because at least I feel like the shark, if it's big enough, could get it over with pretty quick. I feel like that tiger might be working on me for a little.
So basically, you pick the shark because you won't feel anything. You're like, okay, I'm not gonna feel anything, so I'll pick the shark.
Right, exactly.
Good,
yeah,
that's good.
The tiger might work on me for a little, you know, and save me a bit for later.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that. Okay, so no, do not laugh. Okay, so would you rather fight 100 duck-sized, like ducks, like a duck-sized horses, or one horse-sized duck? You get what I mean? So basically, would you rather
I do.
100 ducks, not 100 ducks, 100 horses that look like ducks,
right?
Ducks, or just one one horse-sized duck, like just one duck is the size of a horse,
right? So I'm thinking the main strength of a horse is probably, you know, kicking its back legs, right? It's kicking its back legs. Is 100 of those could be pretty annoying. Are they dangerous? And obviously the duck's going to try to peck you in some way. I don't know about, like, I mean, like waterfowl do typically make me a little nervous. They don't seem that dangerous, but they do make me a little nervous even at their normal size. But a horse-sized duck is probably more terrifying than I'm thinking.
It is. If a duck the size of a horse just walked in, bro, I'm leaving. I'll run the other way. So
and that duck could fly after you too. I didn't think about that. It could fly after you. So I'd probably pick the 100 little horses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's that's okay. So let's move on. Okay. So now I read a lot. I do a lot of fun facts, and it's great that I have you in the podcast. So tell me what you know. You probably know most of these stuff. So would you like to learn about a mountain lion? Mm-hmm. So basically, how to escape a mountain lion, or how to like fend off a shark?
I'd probably rather learn how to fend off a mountain lion as opposed to a shark because it's probably a more likely situation.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna hit you with. I'm gonna just simplify it. So basically, it's like 4 or 5 stuff you can do.
Yeah.
So the first one, you gotta like stand still.
Okay.
I know, like be froze.
Yeah. I'd probably have trouble with that, but
me too.
I believe you.
I don't know. You gotta like stand still. Okay. Then you gotta like observe his behavior. They say, I don't know how you do that when you see a mountain lion in front of you, and y'all gotta like figure out if it's feeling threatened by me.
If it's going at you, you're observing that pretty quickly,
yes,
right? You
yes.
gotta process that information fast.
Right? Then the other one is that like you have to like appear like bigger. I mean, it's not a problem for you. And for us,
No,
like,
yeah,
seven,
right.
seven,
Yeah, already
7 feet
big.
tall. So it's not a problem. But you gotta like
Right.
raise your arms and just like do something
Okay.
like this. And I don't know if this makes sense, but don't crouch. Don't crouch. Like don't crouch down, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
And that like gives you a really nice survival rate.
It gives you a good survival rate?
I mean,
yeah. Well,
it's better than nothing.
No, it is better than nothing, because the thing is, and like, you know, I have a cat at home, and it's not a mountain lion, but you know, cats, they're fickle. They don't care really. You know, they're about themselves. Like I've known this guy probably about as long as I've known Haley, you know? Which is what, like, you know, good 14, 15 years, something like that. Like I've known this cat a long time. I've taken care of him. I've fed him, housed him, and he'll swipe at me in a second. You know, it's not always like that. Like I'll be petting him or something like that, and he'll just go nuts. Like, so you don't know with a mountain lion. It could be cool, it could be chill, but it just takes that one moment. I mean, like look at Siegfried and Roy, right? Like they were with those white tigers for years and years, and just one time. And I love big cats. Like a tiger's my favorite animal. But, yeah,
it's unfortunate. We just have to hope the mountain lion that watches the Bucks and likes deers. Like
right.
Because if it doesn't, we're doomed.
Yeah, in trouble.
But you know what? Because and again, I always say this, because it's my podcast, I'm going to tell you about how to fend off a shark.
I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that.
So the first thing is like, you got to be calm.
Not happening, but okay.
I don't know.
Not happening.
The other one was about the mountain lion was like be still, and this one is like about the shark. Is like you got to be calm. How am I going to stay calm if I'm in the middle of the ocean and I see a shark? I'm trying to
exactly. I'm trying to swim away.
Okay.
Yeah,
you got to be calm, and then somehow, some way, you got to hit the eyes or the gills.
The eyes or the gills.
Yeah, I don't know. Like if maybe you have like if you're scuba diving, you have something on you, or you gotta like hit the eyes or the gills, and
right,
for it like the disoriented or something.
Yeah, I can see those being weak spots. Yeah.
Yep. And you have to like, if there's a way. It's not just like hit it, and you gotta like make like quick and repeat it. Jabs
so it's gotta be like a good hit.
No, don't stop. It has to be
really, don't stop.
For it to like just swim away, and then you get a chance to maybe go somewhere else.
To get somewhere else, yeah.
What do you think about that? Do you think that's doable?
I mean, even if you get that done, like where are you swimming to? Like, are you gonna go like swim into some like big shell or something like that, or some underwater like cavern that has an air pocket in it? Like, where are you gonna go?
I don't know. But what I do know is that this fact exists. This fact. Yeah. So that means that somebody's done it. Right?
Yeah, that is true.
I don't know.
That is true.
It has to be,
someone's beat up a shark. Yeah, that's true.
Not just maybe survive the shark. You know.
So have you ever heard the one where like you can like if the shark goes backwards or something like that?
What do you mean?
Like
it goes backwards? No.
So like I've heard this thing. I don't know if it's true.
They trust me.
They'll fact check.
Yeah,
okay.
Fact check for sure.
Like something about a shark like obviously it can't stop or it dies, right? But it can't go backwards because like it drowns or something. Like the water goes up the gills or something. Is that right? Yeah. So could you? I mean, I don't know how you pull a shark back. It's probably way stronger swimming than you. But I mean, could you do that? I'd rather get behind it than in front of it. That's for sure. I feel like that gives me a better chance.
100%. I know people who are afraid of like just getting into the water. So it's not just. And I was born in Athens, Greece, bro. Everything we have is water. Everything has to do with water. It's 6 months summer out there. So we're great swimmers and everything. But man, seeing a shark, it's like I don't know. I don't know what's the feeling. It's like being on the rooftop and all of a sudden you see a trailer coming to you. You're like, oh, there's nowhere to go because I'm in the rooftop. Is it that I jump? Is it I'm jumping or I get hit?
Have you ever seen True Lies, the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie True Lies?
I think
James Cameron.
No.
That your simile just made me think of the scene where the terrorist is being chased by Arnold Schwarzenegger through the city, and the terrorist is on like a motorcycle, I think, and Arnold gets on a horse. I think he commandeers
I think I've seen it where
a cop's horse.
He hasn't told his wife he's
I've seen it.
I've seen it.
And so And so the terrorist gets his motorcycle and gets in an elevator in a hotel and rides it to the rooftop, remember? And then Arnold rides the horse into on another elevator to the rooftop. And this is where I was thinking, like, where do you go? And this is where the terrorist decides that he's going to ride his motorcycle off of the hotel rooftop onto let me see if I can, rooftop pool.
Yes.
On another building. And then Arnold gets the idea that he's going to ride the horse and jump the distance of the street on a horse. Luckily, the horse was smart enough to stop. Like, that's gutsy for Arnold to like try that.
Oh my God. It's incredible that, like Arnold Schwarzenegger is a huge, like, megastar, like superstar.
Right. Yes. Absolutely.
Megastar, like,
yes.
And you know how like The Rock is now?
Yeah.
Like that's who. Like,
I've thought of that. I thought of that.
Is,
Yes. I don't
know if people would like say it, but this is what it was like.
So I'm gonna give you a tough question then. You're gonna go like looking at Arnold's filmography, like biggest blockbusters, and The Rock's filmography and biggest blockbusters. Which ones are you going with?
I'm going with it's there is a difference because like. It has to do with childhood too. Like we grew up,
right? Yes,
Arnold,
that's very true.
Was the new guy, and if you see how he made it to Hollywood and acting,
it's awesome. It's an awesome story. It's so cool.
And he's an athlete too, and and The Rock was an athlete, so they kind of have like the similar background. It's just like I feel, and The Rock has become a superstar because he's embraced superhero roles too, and he's had like great franchises behind him.
Yeah,
but I don't like really like.
He made it happen.
He made it happen. Yeah. And The Rock too. But
he did. That's like, right.
The Rock had a different kind of route through WWE and all these things. But man, this guy, the work ethic The Rock has.
Yeah. It's insane. It's insane. It is. His
I follow him on DJ. I follow him on the socials, and this guy works. It's unbelievable. He's working.
Yeah, it was cool. When I was my year with the Lakers,
he's funny too. He's
funny, charismatic. He is. He's super. Yeah, just like you talk to him and like so engaging. Like I got to meet him my year with the Lakers. We had a series.
Did you meet him?
These. Yes, I did get to meet him.
Bro, you need to bring him to the podcast.
Absolutely, definitely got to get him on the podcast. Got to make that happen. We had a series of genius talks with like different people. Okay. And the Lakers would bring people in, and one of the people they brought in was him. And dude, he was amazing. Like hearing him tell his story of how he made it and stuff like that. Like how he named his production company was like $7, $8
with $7.
Yeah, $7. Like man, like come on, like that's cool.
Oof, it is. It is. I got a lot of. I don't know. I don't know what word to use first. Admiration, respect, everything for this guy. Like because he's really worked for it.
Yeah.
Okay. So kind of in the end of the show, oh man, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. This show could go on for around 2 more hours, but I think they're gonna close the light to the studio in a little bit. I always do this. We always leave with a motivational quote in the end. If you don't have a quote, motivational quote, that you could be a story, but just something for, we're here to inspire, motivate. And people might be, they might be watching or listening, might be having a tough day, just for them to to feel reassurance and just feel like, man, just
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if I have an exact quote, but I guess I have a couple things, that work good for me and get me through gotten me through a lot, and definitely gotten me to where I am now. The first obviously is just, having, my brothers, my older brothers and Robin always around to work with. We have a lot of the same interests and whatever it was, writing, drawing, playing basketball, athletics. We made each other better. We helped make each other better. We were there for each other to work out with, compete against, work together, and we helped each other get to where we are. And then I just always think of 3 things that are just important, I guess, in basketball is obviously the perspective we have. But in whatever is just just having confidence, being prepared, and just getting that opportunity. Those three things. And you get the confidence by being prepared, putting the work in, making sure, obviously in basketball, you get your shots up, get in the weight room, everything like that. You train for the moment to come, for that opportunity whenever it comes, to be ready for it. And then obviously you have to have that confidence to go out there and just do it.
Yeah, so you're so absolutely right. It's not just basketball, it's
right.
life too. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people always tend to say, okay, once I get there, I'll get ready for that. Or once I be there, when I get to that stage, or when I become a big CEO of a company, or when I become the next big artist, or when I become the next big thing on social media, when. It's not about when. It's about that you gotta already be prepared that this is who I want to be. Because if you're already acting like it, and you have your routine and everything, your lifestyle is based on where you want to be. Eventually, when that comes, because it's going to, that's how the universe works. Yep. You're gonna be ready. Yeah. You're gonna be ready, and you're gonna do just fine.
Exactly.
Yeah. Man. Thank you so much. I love this. One of my favorite episodes, favorite shows that we did, and again, thank you so much, Brook. We'd love, after a season, after next season, let us know about your business ventures and everything, because I know we'd like to have you back. But then again, thank you so much.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me here. I'd be thrilled to come back. Absolutely, and I'll definitely let you know what's up with business ventures, stuff like that in the future.
Oh man, thank you, guys. The show is in the end. Look at my face. I'm sad. No, but the show is in the end. Thank you guys for watching, listening. If you want to listen to the Thanalysis podcast, you can watch it on the Gruber's Media, at the Gruber's TV on YouTube. And then you can watch some of the clips on our socials, Thanasis_43. You can have, I think you used to have Instagram, right? Brook, but you guys want to follow Brook on social media. But then again, thank you. You can listen, and if you want to listen to the podcast, whatever you get your podcast from, it's going to be probably on every platform. Thank you guys. Thank you for listening. See you next time. Thanalysis is recorded at No Studios, Milwaukee's creative hub and production studio.